Joining me today in this webinar, AI, Collaboration or Colonization, is our guest speaker. He will show his face later. I'm just going to introduce everyone. Dr. Daniel Adeboye. He's an educational technology consultant. He helps schools integrate technology effectively. Are you interested in online teaching and learning? This is the man for you. Dr. Daniel Adeboye is a godly educator. I had to add that because it's important to him, even to me as well. And honestly, in the process of contacting him, relating with him, sharing with him, I enjoyed the benefits of a godly educator. Always responds on time. Sending a message, he responds on time. He was engaged. He was always ready to speak with me, share ideas. And I really want to thank you for that, Dr. Adeboye. You are the man for this job. He is the founder of Tristan Edu Network, and he joins us from Abeokuta, Ogun State. Okay, now I would like to hand over to our main speaker, Dr. Daniel Adeboye, founder Tristan Edu Network, is an educational consultant. He's going to be taking us from here, and we're going to follow him. Dr. Adeboye, are you there? And are you ready for us?
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. I want to begin by appreciating Mrs. Samuel. Thank you, Ma, for the privilege to be here and to lend my voice to this conversation. It's an ongoing conversation. It's glad for each and every one of us to be having this kind of a conversation at a time like this. So I will be sharing my screen. I will try to rush through a presentation, just touching up on several of the things that the previous speakers and contributors have said, providing some bit of theoretical understanding, maybe because of those who are new to the world of AI, and especially what AI will do in education. I would also be mentioning some tools, several tools. I'll be sharing some practical experiences, and then maybe at the end, if there are questions, we will take the questions. It's a privilege to have other professionals and great users of AI and even designers with us here. So I believe rich for every one of us. So permit me just to share my screen. I'll be speaking about AI in education, collaboration or colonization. We want to be thinking and learning in the age of AI, and I will need you to be part of this as we go ahead together. AI will replace teachers. I don't know what you're thinking. Will AI really replace teachers? And this is something that, all right, someone is already saying no. Well, this is up for debate, and quite a lot of us will be thinking in different directions. I know that this is one of the biggest of teachers. The fear is that AI has come, it's taking over our work. If AI can do it, then what are we going to be doing? The creative, what's his name now? Jimmy was speaking and was talking about creative. And if AI is doing the designing, if AI is doing all of the work, is it going to replace us? Is it going to replace the human touch? What is going to be happening as we go ahead? So because of time, I would have loved to hear your thoughts, maybe in the chat, but let me run through it, and then we can now hold a conversation at the very end. In my thinking, AI will not replace teachers, but teachers who teach effectively with AI will likely replace those who cannot. So think about that a little bit. AI will not replace you in what you do, because you are the human. And like Mr. Adebayo or GPT was speaking, the truth of the matter is that AI is just an accumulation of our different thinkings for those who have been existing for all the years, content that have been uploaded on the internet. But truth be told, if you know how to leverage the uses and the maximum benefits of AI this day, likelihood is that we are going to replace those who cannot. Now, the danger is not because AI is intelligent, really. The problem is when we as
Mm,
humans stop being intelligent. Yeah,
exactly.
AI is artificial intelligence. So it looks like it's intelligent, but in real fact, it doesn't have its own intelligence of its own. It only
Yes,
aggregates all of our own intelligence. But
exactly.
that's not where the danger really lies. The real danger, which I will be showing as we go ahead, is when we stop thinking, when we stop um, being intelligent, when we stop putting our thoughts. And we've said that all as we began this conversation
Mhm.
today. COVID was a revealer. COVID did not cause our problems in education. And I
Mhm.
remember that year, it was a serious time. Schools were closing down. The education system seemed to be under pressure, whereas schools in several other countries could transition into online education and I mean this kind of hybrid kind of teaching. But many Nigerian schools had a problem of going ahead, and the reason was very simple. We were not prepared for what was coming. We were stuck in the foundational cracks. We were stuck in using traditional education the previous way. So COVID only came to reveal, came to expose the existing problems that we had, not really to create them. We had several issues like rote learning. We prioritized memorization over understanding. We prioritized students being passive. They just sat through our classes. Even when they met with us in the class, they were not really active. They were not doing anything. They just sat through it. The teacher dominated the class. It was lecture based. It was instructor centered, teacher centered. The students were simply passive. And like Mrs. Samuel had said before, there's the copy and paste problem. And I think um, the other speaker also spoke about it as well. It's just surface level kind of assessment that anybody could copy and throw in and get the correct answer. These were the problems that we had at that time. And the break, the COVID year, and the transition just came to reveal that this is already a problem, and not because that was really just starting up in COVID. So we optimized for compliance and not really for thinking. We
Mm.
introduced technology not because we wanted to think, not because we want to increase thinking, but just to comply, just for these foundational cracks. And it became a real challenge for us. Let me take us back to how learning has evolved because I'm an educationist and looking through how learning, studying and researching through how learning has evolved, you see that previously learning lied in the brains and in the hearts, in the heads of the masters. You know, there was the moonlight tales. We sat around the experts. If you must have an answer to a question, you must sit down with somebody who knows it and hold a conversation. So we asked questions, we told stories, we sat with people. But then we moved from the Socratic years to the didactic years when content began to be trapped in textbooks, in written material, in printed materials. Whereas you now didn't need to sit down with an expert. Everything was documented. The knowledge base came in. This was the early stages of the World Wide Web. People started typing, people started documenting things. But now we are returning back to the Socratic years. We are returning back to conversations like this. We are returning back to supported thinking. We are returning back to partnering this time around with AI and thinking about how do we want to proceed. It's no longer just about having the content. Like we have said, lack of information is not really the problem. The problem now is how do we use the information? In fact, information overload is our problem at this time. How do we now partner and think with these tools to make sure that the real result we are looking for we achieve it. So the choice before us now is that AI should not end our thinking. The problem is
Mm.
not whether AI will transform education. AI will definitely transform education, and we are at that point. Mrs. Samuel was saying she does not envisage a world without AI. I responded in my heart. I said, I'm not sure we are going to have a world without AI anymore. AI has come to stay. But the question is, will it colonize our learning? Or let me say, will we allow AI colonize our learning, our thinking, our creativity, our critical thinking? Or are we going to find a way which we are learning? And I mean, when we speak like this, it's not because anybody has perfectly understood how best to do it. We are all
Mm.
learning together. We still all fall short several times. We still all do many things wrongly many times. And I'll be speaking a little more about that. But the choice we must always make is never to abdicate the responsibilities of our thinking, of our creativity to AI or to any other thing at that, but to ensure that we collaborate with these tools. So what is AI? And I mean, all the definitions given has been quite very instructive. And Mr. Adebayo spoke about the two, the evolving of AI from the predictive AI to generative AI, and then the final one now that is the agentic AI. So it begins from predicting. And a very simple example of predictive AI is when you go to your Google search, and the typical example I normally give, and you type in bread, and it gives you different examples, different options: bread and butter, bread and beans, bread and stew, bread and egg, bread and tea, bread and ice. All of this is prediction. It's analyzing and giving you responses based on previous patterns, based on what people have done in the past, based on what, and if you are in Nigeria, you likely see bread and granite. You see bread and moi moi. I mean, these things may not exist to somebody outside the country, but in our context, it will predict such things. But then AI moved from prediction to generative AI, where it produces new content. And that's the one that we were all faced with as AI, is the fact that it begins to think from what we already have, and from that generate new content. And this is it about AI. I remember teaching in my class, and I was telling my student, I said, you can use AI to learn, you can use AI to prepare for my test. You're going to write a test, go to AI and ask AI questions. And a student boldly stood up to ask me and say, sir, but if AI already gives me the questions, what else will you set? And I laughed. I said, no, generative AI will generate different set of questions 2 million times. All right, 2 million is an exaggeration, right? But then you get the point. The point is that every time it goes through a different set of algorithms and produces new information each time, interpreted by patterns. But then AI is now moving to the third level. We don't know what may come after agentic AI, where AI not only generates information, but actually takes actions, executes the task. So
Yeah.
you say, uh,
Conceptual AI.
I
See
want to
already.
do this. It analyzes and okay, let me finish that. It analyzes the situation and then takes actions on your behalf. So a research, and I'm sure some of us might have heard about it. I've forgotten the name now. Oh Lord, I forgot the name. But a student designed an agentic AI that logged into an online Moodle platform and completed an entire course. He himself never logged into the platform. The AI tool is an agentic AI, logged into the platform, did all the assessment, did all the exams, and passed with top grade. It's only at the end of the day that it was discovered. He came out to say, actually, it was an AI that went through all of that. Now, that's agentic AI. It did not, it was not, this is not a question of what is the answer to this question. The AI went in, read through the content, read through the assessment questions, produced answers that were relevant, all without the intervention of the student. Somebody else created an agentic AI that applied to several, I think he said over 100 applications of jobs online. We'll apply, we read the description, we tailor the CV and tailor the application, and did all of that simultaneously without one input from the user, and got over 50 requests for interviews. Now, this is where we are going. And when you think about a world like this, you begin to wonder, where are we going, and how do we navigate these times that we are? So let me just go ahead very quickly. These are the two magic ones now: the conventional AI and the agentic AI. And I've spoken about this. I will not speak much about that. But the triple AI decision spectrum is what I will need to speak a little bit about now. There are three ways by which we can deal with, when we are deciding how to make use of AI, we can deal with this. Number one is assistance, where AI only supports your human effort with guidance. That's assistance. And at this level, we are simply dealing with having AI assist you to do certain things. You are there thinking, you are not releasing all the autonomy. Of course, the very least is where you say no to AI entirely and you just do your thing all by yourself. But that will not be using AI properly. But then moving from assistant, you can have assigning tasks under oversight, whereby you release certain tasks and you say, okay, I want to do this, but this is the way I want it done. You provide serious guidance. You are still providing oversight. You still check the final result. You still find out, does this really say what I want it to accomplish? And I will give an illustration. Somebody, and by the way, happy Mother's Day to all our mothers on the platform today. So somebody sent a message and said, oh, today is Mother's Day. Can you design the graphics for me? I want to celebrate the mothers in my network. Designing Happy Mother's Day flyer. And then, out of all my busy schedule, everything, I told myself, okay, let's see what I can do. So I went into AI, and I use Canva a lot. So I went into Canva AI, and then I went to Canva AI and said, these are the specifications. This person wants this. It's a social media, Instagram post, and all of that. And I put it in and waited to see what it will give to me. Now, I must be frank. What it gave to me was nothing close to what I would have loved. And I told myself, so sometimes when you attempt to abdicate, which is the danger zone, when you attempt to abdicate the responsibility, when you attempt to release the entire control of your design, of your creation, of your thinking, of your work to AI, then we do not get what we find. And like we have said, we've seen a lot of it everywhere, flyers everywhere, entirely designed by AI. And sometimes you just see it and you wonder, this is not what we really want to do at a time like this. So the big question, is it a collaboration or colonization? What should it actually be? And we have all begun to speak about it. The simple answer, like we all know, is that AI should not colonize you, but you should collaborate. But the question is how? How do we go about this? In collaboration, human intelligence is enhanced. And very important to say that humans must lead. You must lead. You must guide. Mrs. Timmy was speaking about providing your own thoughts, being the original initiator. Be the one to provide the thoughts. Be the one to provide the guidance. Be the one to determine the direction. Be the one to set the tone. And when we speak about proper prompting, Mr. Timmy spoke about that. Accurate prompting has a way of you setting the direction, you setting what you really want achieved so that you can get the kind of results that you want. So AI only supports you. It refines, it assists, it makes it, it tailors it properly for you. Not that it then does the entire work for you. But if you use it in the colonization way, then you outsource your human thinking. And you see, the concept of outsourcing is quite a serious or a grave concept. Outsourcing simply means you want to get something achieved, and maybe you do not have the resources to do it, or you do not have the time to do it, and so you get somebody else to do it entirely for you, and then they submit the final result back to you. This is what many people do with AI. I have an assignment to do. I have a deadline of 2 hours. I need to submit that assignment. Oh, I don't have enough time, or I don't even understand the question. I don't know what to do. I'm just completely lost. So I just outsource my thinking to AI. Then I go into ChatGPT and I say, um, this is the question that I was given. You type the question in and brown, and copy and paste. You remember those my challenges that AI brought, that COVID revealed to us. You just copy it, copy the response, and you paste it down. So AI simply, in colonization, you outsource your human thinking, and at the end of the day, we the humans become passive consumers and not active um, collaborators in this that we are doing. I want to find out if you are still listening to me. I'm not hearing any sounds anymore. Are we still together? Yes, yes. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Now, so the issue is not AI in the classroom. The issue is not technology in the classroom. One of my mentors will usually say, AI and technology in the classroom is like having knives in your home. And then somebody says, what do you think? Remove all the knives in your home for 1 week. Will you survive? Okay. I mean, knife is very dangerous, and a knife can be very harmful. But it depends on two things, like I normally say. It depends on who is handling it and what it's being used for. So the problem is not AI or technology in the classroom. The real problem is who is doing the thinking. Who are we allowing to take over the thinking? Are we relinquishing the thinking to AI? Are we outsourcing our creativity, our thinking? Process, are we releasing it to AI, or we are retaining that thinking process? At the end of the day, you discover that when you do this, even though we say it saves you time because the depth of work becomes more, the effect is greater, but you still do the work. You still do the hard work. And then we begin to avoid this brain colonization. Over reliance on AI comes into the point of no independent thinking, no real world connection. Reliance on AI for answers stifles critical thought. There's no real world connection anymore. We over depend on AI, and so we are detached from practical experiences. We are detached from real life situations. We no longer can interact with our students. And I was very impressed with Mr. Timmy's example of writing a story, using AI to design a story, and then getting into the classroom and discussing that story with the students, and having the students hold conversations around that story. Beautiful use of AI, where we still retain the connection, where we still retain the work. Of course, taking it further, I could ask AI to now create a video from that story, and then the video is playing. I'm pausing the video, we are discussing. I'm saying, look at that character. How does it reflect this particular topic? What can you see from that? AI must help us engage with humans and not further separate us from the real world connection. Of course, there's no longer reflection. And the real goal, the real, how do I put this? Thinking and learning itself is not just about the end or the results. It's about the reflective process. It's about the reflections. It's about thinking. It's about finding out, how did I arrive at this point, which speaks to the last point, is that we are now emphasizing results over process. And say, the end justifies the means, or something like that. No, the real work is the process. How did I arrive there? What thinking went into it? What process went into this? And definitely, I'm going to be speaking about how teachers can engage AI properly to correct some of these things. But we must begin to shift away from the result to the process. And so I read a story of a school outside the country. And this is a teacher who decided that in this subject, in this course, all of my students are going to pass. You all have an A. Okay, so I was curious to find out, how does that work? How do you pre-give your students an A? So he then went ahead to say, this term, I don't want you to focus on scoring an A. I want you to focus on learning. I want you to think about learning. I want you to engage the content. I want you to go through the process. I want you to put yourself into the content and learn. Don't worry about what you will score. You have an A. And then the teacher began to discover that because the pressure of whether I will pass or I will not pass was removed, they now could focus on studying. They could focus on learning. They could focus on the process, on thinking, on finding out how do I achieve this in real life. So
Yes.
this is now where the result is. We have better answers, but weaker understanding. With students, this is
Mm,
a no. You see, this answer is perfect. It's top notch, but there's no understanding. They cannot repeat it. Bring them to say
mm,
it live, and the student cannot do it again. So you wonder, how did you produce that? And you see, we are beginning to speak. I think one of the questions that somebody sent earlier while registering is, everybody seems perfect on social media. Everybody is talking on LinkedIn.
oh,
Everybody
yes.
speaking this. How do we know who is real from who is fake? For me, it's very simple. Engage in a physical conversation. That's when you know who really knows. That's when you know whether this person is simply an AI. And I know people definitely who even create courses out of how you can write a book in AI that you don't know anything about. So
Oh, yes.
thank you for somebody who has collaborated with AI to write books. I myself was very encouraged because I have many book ideas in my mind. They've just not gotten themselves out to the public. I pray somehow, someday I'll get to that. But the issue now is that she is an educator. She's writing books for education, for her school, real content, helpful tools. Now imagine a
Mm,
teacher writing a book for law with AI. Imagine a teacher or
mm,
imagine somebody who does not have a skill writing a book about baking. AI will generate that for you and you don't need to have it, but
discipline.
that's quick understanding. Then a user cannot engage you. Someone cannot ask you a question. Somebody cannot do
Mm,
this. And then you put such a book on seller or wherever and they sell it. And at the end of the day, the answer is good, but there's no understanding with it. But
mm,
AI now presents certain opportunities. Like we have said before, I'll just run through it. It enhances our thinking. So we need to begin to redefine our roles. We are shifting from control to facilitation. AI helps us to go away from controlling the class. And every time we talk about class control, I've always had issues with it because the question I'm asking, what are you trying to control? The students, the learning, the content?
yes,
What
classroom
exactly
management.
what exactly are we controlling? Now, if what we want is a class where everybody shuts up, they lift up their
Mm,
hand before they speak, nobody talks, nobody
mm,
moves, then you cannot have learning. Learning takes place in conversations. Learning takes place as people discuss. So the kind of control we are looking for is not that kind of graveyard kind of control. And as a supervisor, I normally say if I come around your class and everywhere is dead silent, definitely no learning is taking place. But when I come around your class and everywhere is bubbly, the students are talking, the teacher is engaging, one student is drawing something, somebody is actively working, then learning is taking place. And then we can move to facilitation. So things that AI can do, like routines, like worksheets, and beautiful ideas that our first speaker spoke about. Worksheets. Let AI do the task of doing the worksheets so that you can facilitate real learning, so that you can sit with the students to do what needs to be done. We must move from instruction to conversation, not just about telling them what to do, but encouraging and providing an environment where they themselves, the students themselves, can do the work itself. So this is about holding conversations. The students know it, we just manage it. So we are not manager. We have now moved to environment designer. Very simple. Creating an environment where they can learn. And then finally, we leave AI to do the paper tasks, and then we engage the human connection. I was having a training with teachers this last term, and I was telling them that AI cannot hug your students. AI cannot give your student a smile in the morning. Only you can do that. AI cannot connect with your students. So you must allow AI to do what AI can do. Allow technology to automate tasks, to automate admin tasks, to do differentiation, like Mr. Samuel was saying, so that we can focus on building relationships, on human connection, and things like that. So three broad ways by which you can look at the teacher in the AI age as a teaching partner. And I think Mr. GPT that spoke about that. Somebody spoke about a teaching partner, a reflective practitioner, and a learning designer. AI can help you to you can leverage these tools to support your teaching, and then you can think of better ways. Oh, I did it this way this time. How else can I produce this? Will flashcards work? Will repetitive quiz where students can, repeat until mastery? They can keep going over the quiz, AI generated quiz, so that they learn it. I remember when I was preparing for WAEC, one thing our teacher did at that time was to ask all the students, everybody, to write sets. I think she said maybe 100 or 200 questions. Set 200 questions for yourself. So when, the whole class brought 100 questions, 100, we had a wide bank of questions in that subject. We were walking through it. The more we walked through it, of course, the questions were familiar. We were meeting those questions before. Now, that was tedious to do in the days pre-AI. I was in secondary school then. But now, absolutely beautiful. AI will do that. If you want 1,000 questions in 1 minute, AI will give to you. And that repetition helps you even as a teacher and as a student. Very practical ways that we can use AI. Number one, for lesson planning. We can generate lesson ideas, and we have spoken about that. I use AI a lot in idea generation. I want to teach this topic. How best can I teach it? This is my environment, and we can use the prompting. There are different prompting models to help you generate different lessons, lesson plans, suggest class activities, and things like that. You can use AI to enhance your teaching. Mr. Jimmy spoke about, or Timmy spoke about, stories, using podcasts. I remember with my students, if this term that we are, this semester that we are dealing with that, and the material is quite wide. So what did I do? I picked each chapter of their material and put it into Notebook LM, and I'll be showing us some of those tools as we go ahead. I put it into Notebook LM and I asked it to generate an audio podcast for me. I gave it some definite things. Make sure you speak about this. I am this instructor. I'm the one that knows what's important in the content. I'm the one that knows what to do. So I dropped the material there, asked it to generate a podcast for me. And beautiful. What came out, I myself got more understanding about it. It definitely helped my students. So in addition to their textbook already, they now have this audio podcast that they can listen to, and it's in a conversation kind of thing. So they are listening to it, they are discussing, they are saying, oh, this is what they were trying to say in this textbook. It's like sitting down with two experts in that topic, talk about your topic, and then you can have such a thing. Of course, AI then helps us for assessment, and we must begin to look beyond the conventional, the previous kind of assessment that we are used to. That's where students can copy and paste. They can copy and paste simply because your assessment can be copied and pasted. So what do we need to begin to think about? We need to think about setting questions that cannot be copied and pasted. Questions that require them to think. Questions that require them to put their own thoughts. Questions that require them to put their own experiences, practical experiences. This will remove all the fear of AI. And some teachers in a school where I consult for began to ask me, oh, an English teacher, for example, I give my students essays and they use AI. I give them to do this. I said, number one, let's change the questions we are asking. The questions we are asking are questions where AI can easily provide an answer. Of course, AI also helps with providing feedback, providing personalized feedback tailored to each student. It goes through their entire content, their submission. It provides feedback I, as the instructor, still go through the feedback and make sure that it says what I actually want it to say. Very beautiful use, practical use of AI. And then the final one is for professional development. And we cannot move away from here. In this day, like we said, teachers who cannot grow, who have a fixed mindset and cannot grow, they will not move. I worked with a school somewhere in Oyo State where the school owner gave his teachers an ultimatum and said, I'm giving all of you this one session. I'm going to invest in training you. But if by the end of one session you cannot use technology to teach, you have already lost your job now. Wow, that was a bold step. And I told myself, if we begin to do this, if we begin to set teachers to train and continuously improve and continuously get better, this is one way by which we will do well, and then AI can help in this professional development that we speak about. So the kind of learners that we have must be critical thinkers, reflective learners. A weak learner is someone that just copies AI outputs. And as a good teacher, what I have been doing is coaching students on the right use of AI. So when a student, as somebody who uses AI virtually every day, when you submit an assignment to me, AI generated, I see all the signs. I don't even need an AI detector. I can see all the signs. Some people even leave or forget the placeholders there. All right, bad for them. So what do? I try to coach them. So I say, no, this is AI generated. I can see that. It doesn't mean you cannot use AI, but how do you use it? So we can coach them. We can help them to see that they should not just copy it and paste it. There's something else they can do. They can question, they can refine, they can amplify their own thinking. They can help, they can use it to get better. This is how we will use AI in the coming days. Now, we'll do some bits of, just trying to find out which of these AI tools are you familiar with? Am I getting answers? ChatGPT, right?
Please.
Okay, two.
Emojis, if you're familiar, emojis.
Emojis, all right. Gemini. 3. Okay.
Copilot. I only
4.
know the icon. Yay!
Canva. That's Canva AI. 5. Everybody should know this. That's Meta AI.
I don't know. Oh,
Meta AI.
okay.
Right inside your WhatsApp.
Yes,
and this,
yes. Magic School.
And this.
No, I don't know.
Anybody? Gmind. This is Gmind. It's an AI tool that is useful in school. And next,
Gmind.
The almighty Grammarly. Grammarly has been of great help to me since several years now. I have improved in my English, in my writing by using Grammarly. I think I checked recently. I have a streak of over 100 weeks or thereabouts of using Grammarly. It has helped me get better. I not only use it to correct, I'm checking it. I don't just mindlessly approve. When it underlines something for me, I'm asking, why did it think like that? Oh, maybe it didn't understand my text. And so I am learning by using the AI tool. This is what? Who knows this? We are going ahead. Perplexity. This is Perplexity. Useful for research. Those who do research in the higher institutions and things like that. And this, I think more people should be familiar.
Yes.
Thank you. This is
Grok.
Yes, thank you. This is Grok AI. And this, all right. This is Napkin AI. Useful for designing charts. So you have text, you have content written in text form, you put it into Napkin AI, it produces charts for you, like instructional material. So this can be useful for instructional material. This is very, popular. This is Bing AI. This is Adobe Firefly. I use Adobe Firefly for image generation, even though Gemini is coming up now and ChatGPT Image 2.0 is overtaking it now, but it's still quite useful. Who knows this? Who knows this? Who knows
Hmm.
this? This is called 11 Labs. 11 Labs is
Oh, yes,
basically
yes.
for audio, is to generate audio, and those who are in the languages can find this very useful. You put your text, you want it to pronounce it for you, to read it for you. 11 Labs we do that. And in fact, they have an update now where it will record your own voice and read the text in your voice. I don't know where AI is going, but sorry, that's where it is. So it can clone your own voice and read the text for you. Now, this is a big one. The latest addition with Google, that's Notebook LM. That's the tool I use to generate podcasts. Very beautiful tool, very simple to use. Notebook LM can generate podcasts, it can generate video overviews. I've used that with my students as well. Generate videos. It picks your content and creates amazing videos that you can show in the classroom. It can also design PowerPoint slides beautifully for you from your text. It takes it, it reworks it, and gives you beautiful slides that you can make use of in the classroom. And Notebook LM has now been integrated into Gemini, meaning right inside Gemini, you can use the powerful functions of Notebook LM. This is, who knows this? Who knows this? This is brisk teaching. Brisk teaching is also something like Gmind and Magic School. It just works on your LMS or in your website, Moodle, or wherever you are, and provides summaries. You can copy links of YouTube videos. It not only transcribes them for you, but gives you solutions and summaries from those videos. Let me move very fast. This is Gamma AI. Gamma is specializing in presentations. Gamma AI does very well, amazing job with presentations. I use Gamma, again and again and again. Two more before I leave this Google AI tools. This is Google Vids. Google Vids is made by Google and specifically for creating videos and videos alone. Very simple tool. You can prompt it, you can put text together, you can record your screen, you can do annotations, and Google Vids works for you. The almighty one that everybody is talking about now, for one reason or the other, I've not really known what, I've not gone into Cloud AI. This is Cloud AI. Useful generally for every of the things that we do. Let me move away from these tools, but just to say that there are several tools that are available and many more. This is not exhaustive. There are several more. I had to pick some out, replace them as time goes on. There are several tools that can be used, and this is just part of them. So integrating AI, some classroom practices. We have said think first, AI second. I think that's a mantra that we can live with ourselves. Think first, AI second. Think first, AI second. Before you go to AI, think first. What do I want to achieve? What do I really want to do? Then I can now know, do I need AI to help me? I can go into AI and then we can go ahead with it. Question AI outputs. Don't just take it for its word. Like Samuel said, AI will actually tell you, I'm sorry, you caught me right there. I missed that out. It's because you can question it. You are the expert. Don't abdicate that to AI. In assessment, oral explanations will work. Process-based grading will work. Video reflections, I love video reflections a lot, even though I'm yet to actually practice it, but it's something I want to really practice. You've submitted your assignment, record a video explaining your assignment. Then I know whether AI did it or you did it, or you thought through it. And then, of course, it can help in our own development. Just because this presentation needs to be a bit of complete, I decided to add these things that people may begin to ask questions around. Things around ethics, about bias, about teacher readiness. And in our nation today, we don't really know how ready we are as teachers yet. Things around equity. We need to keep having conversations like this, webinars like this, trainings like this, to help our teachers get ready for what is to come. We must understand that some of these tools have biases, and we cannot just take what it was and just put it down like that. I remember someone was speaking about using AI, and He just discovered that every time he asked a generic question, they always use the feminine gender. Her, she, female, female, female. And then he began to wonder what's happening here, only to discover that that particular AI tool is biased. The data that was used to train it is biased. Somehow, for one reason or the other, it does not recognize the male gender. And things like this, if care is not taken, would form this kind of problems that we have eventually in education. Finally, decision making. Remember the triple A. Do you want to assist? Is it for assistance, for assignment, or application? Will this require thinking? Would AI assist me, or should AI stay out completely? Would I do this myself? At what point will I bring AI into this? At what point will AI help me? What else can I do? How much must I, as a human, get myself, involved? So remember this, the future of education is not AI. The real future and the real question, the challenge, is whether we will continue to think, whether we will give up our thinking and allow AI to colonize us, or we will retain our thinking, retain the thinking about AI and collaborate with AI. This itself has set me thinking a lot, just going through all of these discussions in my mind and reading and researching, and I've come to see that the real question will be, who is doing the thinking? Who is doing the working? So finally, let me remind you, AI will not replace teachers. Technology will not replace teachers. But teachers who can teach effectively with AI will most likely replace those who cannot.